Hey, Michael, what's up?
What's up, Dr. John? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad to talk to you. Kelly's being mean. So what's up?
Oh, yeah, man. Well, first, it's a pleasure to talk to you, man, and I listen to you guys all the time, sometimes 8-9 hours a day, man, so it's a complete pleasure, man.
Dude, turn it off. Go hang out with friends.
I know, right?
That's too much. That's too much. So what's up? What's up? How can I help?
Well, man, just going to be honest with you. I'm married now. But before marriage, I screwed up a lot, as a man, put my foot in my mouth a lot, and I just screwed up a lot. And as a result, my then girlfriend would break up with me. And I would, hey, you know what? I'll just go to her. Hey, I'm sorry. Let's work through this. Let's talk about it. And honestly, doing that over and over again, I felt like a sucker. And now that we're married, there's scarring there. So I'm afraid that she's going to leave. I work for a job right now, and I have my own company. And just recently, I don't have everything I need in place to really be consistent, work consistently. But when I do work, it's pretty good, And I made a substantial amount of money a few months ago. She knows that, I hide nothing from my wife. And so we got into a spat, and she said, well, after 13 years of doing this, I've been in business for 13, been doing the other stuff for about 20, 25, most of my life. She said, I thought you'd be farther ahead than where you are right now. It completely broke me, and she knows what needs to happen.
That hurts. And
so especially when, hey, I tell her how much I make whenever I do it, and it's pretty good, but it's not consistent, So that's why I still work the other job. Honestly, man, to a point, I don't trust her, and stuff like that. I just learned to really just be quiet, but that's hurting me because I can't be myself. I'm outgoing. I'm a goofball.
What's underneath all this, man? There's something underneath all this. What is it?
I don't understand.
Can I tell you what I think I'm hearing? And I want you to completely reject it if I'm wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Before I put it out there, tell me about your old man. Tell me about your dad.
Oh, well, honestly, I haven't talked to him in a year.
Tell me about him growing up.
I was divorced. My parents got divorced. So My parents divorced at 6. Yeah.
Okay. And so 6 all the way through when you met who was your girlfriend, the woman who's your girlfriend, and then she became your wife. You said you screwed up a lot. What does that mean?
Sometimes I will, let me think of something quick. Something that I didn't like. I can't think on top of my head.
Okay.
Something I didn't like, I bring to her attention. Hey, I didn't like this. I didn't like the way you said it. And her response would be something like, well, if you wouldn't have did this, I wouldn't have did that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's no cheating, nothing like that, dude. And honestly, I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm a Christian man. I am a man. I am not perfect. I'm just saying that. But, sometimes there's other women come across my path.
Of course there
and
is.
They're very kind. And I'm like, wow, I like this. I like this kind. I'm not saying that my wife is really mean.
When I asked you what was underneath it all, now we're getting to it. Here's what I'm hearing. Okay. I hear a guy who is trying to do everything he can to be what I would call, and I'll get some heat for this for saying it this way, but this is just the first thing that popped into my head.
Mm-hmm.
You are doing everything you can to be a 21st century evolved male, which is, I'm going to work my job and provide for my family. I'm also going to try to create my own business. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to go year after year after year after year to make this thing work. And I'm going to do this modern thing, which has not been asked of men for most of human history, rightly or wrongly, it doesn't matter, just hasn't been, and that's vulnerability. I'm going to tell my wife how I feel.
Absolutely.
And you're experiencing what millions of modern men experience, which is women who do not want that from their men. And they beat them down for it.
That makes sense.
Except
that's how I feel.
If you don't do it, they're going to hold you hostage
Exactly.
For not ever
Thank you.
speaking up. And why don't you ever tell me what's going on and what's in that big old head of yours and all that stuff?
That's
So you're
exactly
trapped.
right. Absolutely.
And then you go to work.
Yep.
And some woman recognizes the kind of hardworking, kind, compassionate, and dare I say vulnerable man that you are, and she laughs at your jokes, and now we're off to the races. And then suddenly you become a man that you never wanted to become.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Am I onto it?
Yes, you are. Better than how I explained it.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Here's my big first question. Do you already have somebody in mind?
There's honestly
Just call it. Just call it what it is, man. You got somebody in mind already?
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Have you crossed a line yet?
No, I have not.
Okay.
No.
So what I would, and here's what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you to shame you. I'm asking you to give me some direction on the urgency.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to ask you, the same thing I would tell her if she called me. Nobody makes you do the next thing. She's been blaming you for years for what she chooses to do, how she chooses to talk to you, treat you. You don't have that kind of power.
Mm-hmm.
You do a thing, you say a thing, and then she makes a choice on how to respond, how to come back, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you the same thing. Do not let the current situation, and I'm telling you right now, it's exhausting and it's frustrating and it's heartbreaking, and you're tired of doing right because it's got you nothing.
Yeah, dude.
And do not let the next thing you do be handing your dignity away because you're not that guy.
Absolutely.
You're not a man who cheats. Don't be that guy.
Absolutely.
Okay? You get to choose what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
My concern for your marriage is I think it's closer to the edge than you guys think it is. And anytime somebody gets in this situation, it can't be I say it can't be. It might, but I haven't seen it. It can't be this close to the edge where we kind of naturally, next, right? There has to be, and I say this all the time on the show, somebody's got to flip the lights on, turn the dance music off. We are stopping this thing in its tracks. We're about to go over a cliff. For 13 years, I've been trying to do the best I can, and I'm not able to communicate with you in a way where I feel heard, where I feel safe, and if I come to you, I feel attacked. So it's making me not want to come to you anymore. And you deserve more than that, and I deserve more than that. And if she can't hear it or she chooses not to hear it, then you all need to address that underlying issue.
Mm-hmm.
But you're about to become somebody that you're not. Is that fair?
Absolutely. Because I'm literally fighting myself.
I know you are. Delete the number out of the phone. Delete your Instagram account and stop. Right now, stop.
Okay.
You're about to cross the line you can't come back from, man.
Absolutely.
And I want to sit with you, man. It hurts when you've been really working hard for 10 years at something and you finally have a win, and the first thing out of the one person you're so desperate for her approval, she looks at you and goes, right? God, that's a knife in your soul, right?
It does, man. Yeah.
You're not crazy and you're not a wimp and you're not some blue pill, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It just hurts. I wish that more women knew, more wives knew how much their men, in their wonky, awful, not good ways, are chasing 3 words. Or 4 words. I'm proud of you. Right? I'm proud of you. If for all the wives and girlfriends listening to this, just try it. Go home, grab your husband or your boyfriend, put your hand behind his neck to where your hand is on the back of his neck, and look him in the eye and just say, hey, I need you to hear me say, I'm really proud of you. All the work you're putting in. Just try it. Watch what happens. It'll melt in front of you. But here's the deeper question, Michael, that I gotta just hit you with, okay?
Yeah.
You're seeking external love and validation. And what this tells me is at the end of the day, you look in the mirror and whatever she said to you, you kind of had that same thought too.
You're right.
Did you think you'd be further along 10 years ago when you started the side business?
Honestly, I did. Yeah, absolutely, I did.
Or maybe you didn't think you would, but you dreamt of it, right?
I mean, honestly, I didn't think I didn't think I'd be making this much money with the jobs that I would do that I didn't know.
So you're actually ahead of where you thought you'd be?
I'm not, because it's not consistent. And to do that, I have to take certain steps that I didn't take yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
Procrastination on my part.
Okay.
If I didn't procrastinate, yes, I would.
Well, is it procrastination, or is it that life has just been happening? You've been working a full-time job this whole other time too.
That's true. I just
Whose voice is that? Whose voice is that? Is that hers, or is it your old man's? Is it your mom's? Whose voice is that? Somebody's telling you on a minute-by-minute basis that you are not where you should be. Whose voice is that? Because it's a lie, dude. Do you have little ones? Do you have kids?
No kids. Okay. No, sir.
So you've been working a full-time job, being a husband, going to school, doing your thing, doing a side hustle?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I just turned 33, too.
Hear another, one man to another, I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that.
Good on you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to ask you to do something that's going to sound so cheesy and lame. And I know you're done cheesy and lame in it, dude. You just want to go lift weights and get on TRT and just start fighting people and have a bunch of mindless sex. I know where you're at, okay?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Exhale and be the guy that you want to be. Be the guy that you are. Because that's every bit of a fantasy as what you thought would be. You see what I'm saying? It's just a fantasy. It's not real.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I want you to get yourself a small leather-bound journal. And every time you get one of those stories that pops into your head, and some of it might come from your wife, and you have to address that. She's poisoning the water y'all share together. Mm-hmm. But it might be that you need to look her in the eye and say, and I had to do this with my wife, I am chasing with all I have 4 words, I'm proud of you. And she had no idea. She thought she was telling me that she was proud of me by making sure the household was running, and by also she had a full-time job. She thought she was showing me in all these other ways. And I was like, I got to hear those words. Right? And so it may be that you need to give her a clear roadmap to your heart. And it may be that you've given her that roadmap and she just wads it up and throws it in your face.
Okay.
Whatever that is, you'll need to go talk to somebody, whether it's a marriage counselor. You got to sit down and be direct, but you got to have this conversation. I keep coming to you, and I feel like I keep putting my hand in the bag, and I keep getting bit by a rattlesnake, and I'm getting to where I can't do it anymore. But that has to be followed with, here's exactly what I need. Here's what I want. And by the way, I want to want you so bad. But I want you to...
I'm honestly, I'm sorry, I'm kind of...
No, cut me off.
Afraid to say that, because if I, normally if I say something, I'm not saying all the time, last few days it's been great, hugging me and all that stuff, but then when it goes to crap, it goes to crap. Mm-hmm. And so I'm concerned if I say this, that's kind of why I backed off, because if I open my heart, be vulnerable, then I'm afraid. Yeah. And I'm like, well, if I say this, well, how come, you can go somewhere else or something like that. I don't know, but I'm kind of like, how do I solve this?
Well, here's what's about to happen. Your ultimate fear, and again, I'm fishing here. I can link these things artificially. Maybe they're connected. But either your mom or your dad left you when you were a kid. And the woman you've chosen to spend the rest of your life with broke up with you for being vulnerable with her.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. However cheesy as cheesy as it
it's
sounds,
not cheesy.
It wasn't cheesy to me.
It's not cheesy, dude.
Yeah, I know.
It's not cheesy. Dude, it's easy to go take kickboxing classes. It's easy to go do sparring competitions. I've done those. It's real hard to look at somebody that you want so desperately to love you for till the end of time.
Absolutely.
And to say, this is my heart, you still love me.
Absolutely.
That's way harder, man. Way harder. And every time you've done it, you got stomped on.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Your big fear about this thing ending, you're about to end it prematurely to keep her from ending it, and your life's still going to end up in the same ash.
That makes sense.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the only path forward, and this sucks, is heartbreaking. The only path forward is risk.
Okay.
And if you don't think she can hear you, or if she's proven to you over time, I can't hear you, I can't hear you, I can't hear you, or I won't hear you, is probably a better way to say that, then you got to go get a marriage counselor and tell her, our marriage is on the brink and I don't want to lose you. You're the most important thing to me. Will you come talk to somebody? And then you're going to have to come prepared. You're going to have written some stuff out.
Okay. I'll do that. Absolutely. We have seen a counselor before, but that was crazy because they both ganged up on me. Afterwards, I told my wife, I didn't like that, and this is why. She says, I see that. So this go around, I will write the stuff down and talk about it. Just find the right person.
Yeah. And I think there's sometimes you go just to talk through, like, everything's such a mess. It's like a fishing rod, like the line is so tangled up, we don't even know where to start.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's very clear, like, hey, I'm getting to the end where I'm about to end this relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm becoming, I don't want to do something. I don't want to choose. It doesn't happen automatically. I don't want to choose to do something to become somebody that I'm not.
Absolutely.
I'm a person who wants to share my heart with you, and every time I do, you stomp on it.
Absolutely. That's it.
You don't think do you think she could hear that or no, if you said it in that way?
She can.
Okay.
It's just, like you say, having to take the risk to do it and just do it, you know?
And I think it's being clear about, when I say this and you respond with this, my body leaves in a vortex, just gone.
Absolutely.
It leaves. And I want to stay present. When I say this, if you get uncomfortable with that, here's some things we can do. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're giving her an action plan.
Absolutely.
And it's not sexy, it's not romantic, it's not like Hollywood lays it out, but sometimes saying, here's the best way I need to be loved right now.
Mm-hmm.
And give her a chance to respond. And my guess is you're not perfect in this deal either, right? I mean, you said that early on. Right?
Heck no, absolutely not.
Nobody is, right? So she gets a chance too to say, okay, here's how you can love me when things get sideways and they get strong. And she might look at you and say, hey, I need you to find a couple of men that you can share your business concerns with. Like, I need you to get a couple of men that you don't work with, that you meet with on a regular basis, that you can say, hey, I'm worried about the economy, I'm worried about this, because I can't hold that in this house. And that's fair. That's a fair thing.
Absolutely.
A lot of guys are miserably lonely, and we just dump everything on our wives and expect them to carry it on they can.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, I just want you to know you're not crazy, man. It gives me hope to see men like you out there grinding, doing 2 jobs, trying to love the best you can, and trying to take in all this new information. I want to be a different kind of guy than my dad was. I want to be a different kind of, whether my dad was good or whether my dad was not good. I want to try to do this thing right in this new world. Whew. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm proud of you for not jumping off the cliff yet. I'm just gonna ask you, don't do it, man. Don't become somebody that you're not. Is that fair?
That's fair. Absolutely.
All right. It's been one of my highest honors to talk to you today, and to listen to bravery. Like I say, man, it's easy to shove somebody. It's easy to go lift weights and do, like, yeah, that stuff's easy. I do it. It's hard to be honest and open and say, I'm trying, man, and I keep getting stomped on. It's that next layer of, here's what specifically that looks like, and I want you to carry around that journal and write down these stories. I should have been further along. I should be doing this more often. I should. Write that down and challenge it. Who said that? Is this true? And if you text somebody you're not married to and say, hey, let's meet up, and your body says, I shouldn't have done that, look at that. Yep, that's actually true. You shouldn't have done that. But if it says, you should be doing this, you should be making more money, man, I've been working really hard. I'm doing good. I want it to be more consistent. I can do some steps here, but I'm also working a full-time job. You know what? I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. Proud of you, man. Hang on the line. I'm going to send you my number 1 best-selling book, Building a Non-Anxious Life, and I want you and your wife to use that as a roadmap to choose whatever happens next. I'm grateful for you, man.